I really think that we need to get started. I mean, just like a fisting of information. We need to just start fisting information into the people's face holes. Because I need to get going.
I don't know where to go from there. So I'm just going to say welcome everybody to episode 103 of the Geek Dad Report. The one show dedicated, formulated, specially created to fisting information right up your fucking information hole. And bringing you all the nerd news that was this week and last week and the week that's coming. And I don't know. And hopefully making you laugh, smile, and entertain the shit out of you. I am always Brian West, the hostess with the mostest and lack of English language. And that beautiful man over there is Ryan Thomason.
Yeah, I shall always be Ryan Thomason. And I would just like to say thanks for not giving me a warning as I was, talking about fisting stuff. So
I just want everyone to know the kind of conversations that we have when we're not recording, Ryan. I don't know why you're judging me for that. I feel like people.
No, I'm not judging.
I feel like people are privy to our private information like this.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't start recording 5 minutes ago when we were having a really intimate conversation about
what, fisting?
Lockjaw.
About Lockjaw and fisting. This is where this episode is going. Should that be the title of this episode? Welcome to episode 103, Lockjaw and fisting.
You know what? If that doesn't get us
7 new viewers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like all new viewers are good viewers, but I feel like the type of people that title would bring in may be disappointing with what our show actually brings.
There's going to be a lot of people with their pants down when the show starts, and they're going to be really disappointed when it's just two white... just two white guys?
Dude, Geek Dad's fisting? This is amazing. Let's talk about it. No, that's not what we're about. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Whatever. Well, it's late here. Do you want to continue to talk about fisting? Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Or should we just dive into it tonight?
I've never experienced that, and I don't plan on it, so...
Okay. Well, no judgment here. I mean, this is a safe place. You can just splace. This is a safe place. Fuck. It's going to be one of those nights. It's a safe place. You can talk about Ryan's fisting adventures. That sounds like a really bad comic or a really good video game.
I don't know if I would play that game, but I do think we should play. Let's inform our audience about the stuff.
You want to dive into the niche? Okay, well... Before we get in, as always, Ryan works very hard for our sponsorships. But this week, Ryan doesn't know what sponsor we have because I brought in the sponsor, which is actually funny considering Ryan's continual obsession with getting fisted. Tonight, we are sponsored by Ryan's Fisting Lube. It's the top quality manufacturer of fisting lube. I haven't used it myself. I did freeze. Look at that. I got so excited talking about fisting lube that my camera froze. And it's gone.
Yeah,
God.
You breathe with your mouth wide open. You're like...
fucking Lockjaw and fisting lube. Ryan's Lockjaw and fisting lube can be purchased at any store on Amazon right now for the low introductory price of $5.99.
Yes, and it comes in a 20-gallon bucket.
Jesus Christ, 20 gallons of lube for $5.99? Hey everyone, you know what you're getting from Brian West for Christmas? Bucket of fisting lube, $5.99. You can probably use it for non-fisting activities, but what fun is that?
It doesn't have to be big enough so you just dunk your whole arm into the bucket. And then
it's just got like a glory hole. Just fist in, fist out, fist in, fist out. Where did this come? How did we get here? How did we get to this place right now?
I was trying to come up with a way of saying that we need to give the people the information.
I don't even know if I have a good transition to our ninja news. I mean, we should call it fisted news. Or whatever. You know what? You know what? We're gonna power through.
Yes.
Like Ryan on a bad fisting night. And we're gonna give you all what you want. 5 gallons of fucking lube for $5.99. Jesus Christ. Well, speaking, Ryan, of people getting fisted, all the fans of the hit show, well, maybe not hit show, Sense8, basically this guy. Let me tell you guys
Yeah.
something. A few weeks ago, I got fisted hard by fucking Netflix when they said, guess what, Brian? I know you're really enjoying season 2 of Sense8, your favorite show on Netflix, but we're going to fucking just cancel it. Dicks.
I haven't seen you that upset in a while.
It is... So, all jokes aside, if you guys haven't watched Sense8, I know I've talked about it a lot on the show. It is a great show. It is one of the few shows that has ever had me not change, but feel differently about the world after I watched it. You know, I mean, shows like Planet Earth, I mean, you feel a little bit different because you see things you hadn't seen before, but in a lot of ways, this is what kind of the way Sense8 was. It allowed you to care about characters that you didn't quite understand. You know, obviously, we've talked at length that it has a lot of LGBT elements to this, so... you know, as a guy who supports LGBT, you know, a lot of times you don't always know what that means because you don't. I have gay and lesbian friends, but I don't have you know, to my knowledge, I have no transgender friends and other people like that. And this show makes you care about those kind of characters. And there's a transgender actress on the show, and you know, she's one of my favorites on the show. And it's just the relationships that these people have and the real life things that they go through really makes you feel for them. And like I said, it puts you in a spot that's kind of awkward in the beginning, but by the end it makes you think differently about maybe the way you thought before. And besides that, it's a fantastic sci-fi like fantasy. I mean, it's got all the elements you love about a good superhero genre or a comic book genre. It's got sci-fi, it's got telepathy, it's got kung fu. It's done by the Wachowskis, so I mean, it's got like bullet time and badass people getting their heads shot off and shit. I mean, it's a really good show. It's very in your face, and it's hard in the beginning to kind of get through because it's so in your face about stuff. It's very unapologetic, but it is a really good show, but it's also a very expensive show. To put it in context. Netflix, when it first got canceled, I was very upset, but I dived into it a little bit and I understood why they canceled it. The viewership was there, but not where they needed. So Sense8 was spending $9 million per episode. To put that in context,
episode?
Game of Thrones only spends $6 million per episode. So I mean, you're talking
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a show that got decent ratings, but when you're spending $9 million an episode...
But they're not getting Game of Thrones ratings.
Yeah, no. I mean, their ratings were definitely on the lower end, and I think a lot of it had to do with sometimes I think people didn't... It was confusing, especially in the beginning. It's very much genre, so you have to watch the whole thing. You can't watch an episode here and there. It asks you to really think about what's going on, and on top of all of that, they have a lot of things that will make people uncomfortable watching it. So I can understand why the viewership was low, but honestly, I highly recommend it. If you guys want to watch a show that is a little bit out of your maybe element, but could possibly change the way you look at some things, I highly recommend Sense8. But like I said, it was very heartbreaking when we found out, all of us Sense8 fans found out that the show was canceled, because it not only ends on a cliffhanger, it's a huge story that you never get any conclusion to. And so everybody, myself included, who loves the show, took to Twitter, took to Facebook, took to anywhere they can take to, and just lit Netflix up. I mean, I one night had a few glasses of scotch and decided to go on a Netflix tirade and just went off on them for a while. I was not the only one, but I would like to say that I am the reason the show's coming back. So, no. It's not coming back, but we found out today. I guess this is a long-winded explanation why I'm so excited for the news today.
Yes, it's very long-winded.
Yeah, well, you know me, you fucker. Don't you got some fisting to do? Where's your bottle of blue?
No, I'm watching you.
Why don't you fist yourself?
This is my contribution to the show. I watch you, and then I do a little funny quip, and then I sit here and keep going like this.
You contribute so much more than that, but yes, I know, Ryan. You're amazing to listen to me rant as long as I do. So anyway, I was saying about Sense8. So we found out today that Netflix, they too felt our pain, and I'm sure they felt the pain from the millions and millions of messages they were getting.
No, Brian, let's be honest. They got that one email from you, and they're like,
"It's true." I was like,
this email is 27 pages long, and it includes cliff notes, and it's a lot of all caps, and we're going to have to listen to this Brian West guy.
And then I sent them a video message, and it was 732 gigabytes. So,
wow.
It was very long. I was very upset. But needless to say, we win, kind of. They're not bringing back the show, but they are at least giving us some closure. We are getting a 2-hour series finale to wrap up the whole show and at least give us something that we can kind of be happy about and at least give us a little bit for these characters. Give us some finality to the journey we've been on with the Sense8 cluster. So
I've been meaning to watch the show. It's just I keep finding reasons not to.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm telling you, watch it. It will change the way you look at not only aspects of life, but how TV should be done. It's shot on multiple locations around the world. The cast is phenomenal. The scripts are phenomenal. The humor is... I'm telling you, watch the show. Everybody watch the show. Season 1 was good, but Season 2 is epic. And the 2-hour finale will not give it what we really want, but it'll at least give us something and allow us a little bit of closure on a series that was honestly one of my favorite I've ever watched. So, and not just that, the cool thing is now I can recommend it to people and not say it's a great 2 seasons, but you will never find out what happens. At least now you have a complete series that you can watch from start to finish. You'll be able to watch it in a couple seasons, and it's going to end up being like 24 episodes total for the whole series. Well worth binge watchings. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's coming out in 2018. No time date on when in 2018, but they're going to start shooting it now. But anyway, Sense8 cluster, rejoice! We're going to get a finale. So do not think that studios do not listen when you are very angry, because sometimes they do.
Good job, everyone.
You know what? I would like a moment to say, Ryan, I did a successful segue from fisting.
You know, I was pretty successful, actually.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give myself a little pat on the shoulder back here. Yeah. I know you do it if we were in person, but since you're not. Well, you know, Ryan, you know who didn't?
Over, I kind of grab the shoulders.
Here, get in deep. Whoa, watch the hands, Captain Fister.
Yeah. This should happen after the fisting. So.
All right, whatever. That is totally going to be the title. I feel like we're going to get flagged. But hey, whatever. Fuck it. It's not like the first time we haven't been flagged on YouTube. Those sons of bitches. All right. Well, speaking of uncomfortable back rubs, new details have emerged from the firing of Miller and Lord from the Han Solo movie, and apparently last week we talked about creative differences. Apparently, there's a lot more than creative differences that was going on behind the scenes of this Han Solo movie.
So it's not a bunch of bad back rubs.
Well, I think that could also be part of the problem, but that is not the only problem. In fact, this is turning into a full-blown Tropic Thunder scenario where this movie got out of control and heads are dead, and they're going to make a documentary later about the disaster that was this movie. Apparently it's coming out that Chris Miller and Phil Lord tried to turn this into a full-on comedy, and that a lot of people considered Alden Ehrenreich's performance much like Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura.
Yeah, and he was getting to the point where what's his name is playing Han Solo.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, he told one of the producers, he was like, guys, this is fucked up what they're making me do.
Yeah.
This we're not really. It's like, and they're saying one of the producers saw some screen test, and they're like, we have to hire an acting coach for this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing, and it seemed like there was just a lot of not coherent stuff going on.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues. A Hollywood Reporter actually had a really interesting article. We put it up on our Facebook page. I suggest everyone check it out. It's worth the read. It's a little bit long. Just to, a lot of times we don't get to see how the pizza's made, the sausage is made in some of these movies. It's a very interesting look into some of the craziness when you have very creative directors, very smart creative directors who are on a completely different page than the producers and the people who are funding this movie. And they kind of butt heads on this. Apparently there's one part where they were fighting so much that the director sat in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and refused to leave it and start shooting the movie. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, if you had a Millennium Falcon, I mean, I would sit in it too, and
I would too. I mean, there's the rumors now. Take this with a grain of sand, people. I mean, this is all rumors right now at this point. I mean, I've also heard rumors that a lot of the Disney people saw dailies from this. They put together scissor reels, so they really liked it, and they thought everything looked really good. And that a lot of the movie is going to be salvageable. But what I'm hearing is that Ron Howard really isn't being brought in to just kind of push things together. That Ron Howard really is going to be shooting a different movie. Like, this is going to be a Ron Howard movie. They're talking that the next 2 months they're going to be reshooting this movie. 2 months of shooting is a movie, right? So
yeah. And just remember that the directors are still under a Disney NDA.
Yeah.
So they're it's like if you thought an NDA contract was strict, apparently the Disney ones are like about as hardcore as you can get. Like, so obviously the directors can't say anything to defend themselves from, and so it's kind of easier for Disney to kind of get like a whisper campaign going out, you know, about how bad they were and everything. So we're not really going to hear the director's viewpoint on this for a very long time.
I think Disney's trying to move on from this thing, honestly, and I don't think these guys are going to have a hard time. This isn't a Josh Trank situation. These guys are super talented. The Lego Movie is amazing. 22 Jump Street, amazing. These guys are going to have a job. In fact, rumors are right now that they may be back on track to direct the Flash movie for the DCEU, which would be great. But that being said, to your point, yeah, we don't know what's going on. It sounds crazy. The other thing, you want to add a little more craziness in this whole story. Apparently, because of their shooting time and how much they've already contributed, apparently, according to the Directors Guild, the union, they're entitled to put together a director's cut of this movie.
What?
So there literally could be a scenario where at some point we could have 2 different Han Solo movies that somehow make the light of day. Now, Disney would never release it, but if it's put together, these things have a way to find their way online, and I'll watch it.
There's going to be one Disney engineer that, like, puts it up on something.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the saga is far from being over. I'm not worried about the movie. I think it'll be fine. Now, that being said, I still say that I could give you 5 movies right now off the top of my head. You could say, Brian, go, and I will give you 5 movies that I think would be better fits than a Han Solo movie. This is the movie that literally nobody wanted or asked for.
Nope. We want a Luke Skywalker from the Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens block.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Or how about this? I don't want a Boba Fett movie, but I'd rather take a Boba Fett movie. Give me an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Give me a Knights of the Old Republic movie. Give me a Way Into the Future Star Wars movie. Give me a Yoda movie. Give me a Mace Windu movie. Give me somebody with a goddamn lightsaber. That's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Darth Vader movie. How about that? How about that? Cash me outside, Disney.
Just force choking everybody.
Done. We'll direct it. It'll be easy.
Mm.
We'll be like, you kill all those rebels for an hour and a half.
Bam.
Done.
Done.
Boom. Give me my $1 million.
Yeah,
it in.
Exactly. We're on the same page.
But anyway, I'm sure we'll see more as we go. I'm sure the Han Solo movie will be good. I'm starting to wonder if they're going to... I don't think they're going to make their May of 2018 release date at this point. But then again, it's still almost a year away. It's possible they could make it. I feel like this movie's going to get pushed back to the December release date that they have been using for the last 2 Star Wars movies. But who knows? We'll find out. More to come as we hear it. Man, that's what I said to her. What else we got here? Speaking of things coming and dying, I don't even know if we're speaking about that. But apparently Avengers Infinity Wars is going to permanently end the story of some major Marvel characters.
Everyone from Phase 1.
Everyone who's going to make more than $500,000 a year is dead.
Yeah. Basically, it's going to be Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk.
No, see, Hulk will always be back because you can recast Hulk as anybody and then just digitally. Hulk, the big green guy, is the star.
Yeah,
not the guy who plays him.
The Mark Ruffalo kind of face Hulk, I'm going attached to him.
I kind of like the Edward Norton version. No, I like Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo's good. Well, yeah, but you could always just completely animate him. You don't even need to bring in Mark Ruffalo. So, I don't know. Not really a surprise here.
I'm saying at least the main three. Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America are gone.
Well, and I'm going to say it right now. Even if they are gone, they'll find a way to be able to bring them back at some point if they really want to. So, like, Captain America will be dead. Bucky will... I mean, come on, guys. Chris Evans' contract is up after this. Sebastian Shaw, Bucky, signed like a 9-picture deal. Do the math. Guess who's going to be the new Captain America?
Yeah. I think it'd be fine to have a Bucky Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting. Is anybody... Well, you know who could be the new Captain America? Apparently, Captain Britain could be the new Captain America. Apparently, Kevin Feige's been in discussions about bringing him into the MCU.
Oh. God, what is Captain Britain? I'm trying to think.
He's like England's version of Captain America. So he got like a super soldier serum, but I think he can fly.
What?
Yeah.
God damn it, Britain.
I'll be honest, I'm not really up to date on Captain Britain. I read him whenever he showed up in it. I only read him because he showed up in Excalibur comic books, because that was the X-Men force based out of England with like Nightcrawler. So I don't really know much about.
I just hope they really cast an American to play Captain Britain to get revenge.
Channing Tatum.
For all the because there's so many goddamn British dudes that like take good American paying jobs.
Yeah.
You know.
How about British washing? We should make that a thing.
Yeah. Superman, not an American.
Yeah. Wolverine, goddamn Australian. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Have some pride, America. Channing Tatum.
Take the country back.
That's Captain Britain. I'm calling it right now. Or Texas' own Matthew McConaughey. He shows up, he's like, all right, all right, all right.
Whenever I think of Channing Tatum, though, I can only think of him when he was chained up to that one, the front of the car.
This is the end?
And that... Which one?
This is the end, when he was the slave?
Yeah. And he's the slave.
Oh, yeah, that movie's fucked up. I watched that with my wife. That was a mistake.
I know. My wife and I watched it, and we were like, what the hell's going on?
She completely checked out when the demon raped Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
The giant penis. Yeah, if you haven't watched that movie,
it's got a lot of famous people in it.
The first half is hilarious. The second half gets weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Weird
when they're talking about Emma Watson.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
All right, let's see here. I got a lot of trailers. I'm going scrolling through the news, our segments, and we got a lot of trailers. So, I'm going to wrap up the news here real quick, and then we'll do the trailers.
There's no more news. Despicable Me 3 comes out this week.
There's lots of news.
And The House comes out. Those are the 2 movie things coming out. We're done. Damn.
Oh, whatever. Okay, I'll blow through some of this fast news, and if you want to talk about something, we'll talk about it. Power Rangers 2, apparently there's a talks for a sequel for the latest Power Rangers movie, even though it did not very well domestically in the box office. Barely recouped its cost, but they sell a shitload of toys, so they're talking about doing a sequel.
Great.
Woo.
Move along.
Another movie they're talking about doing a sequel, which I'm not going to ruin it. We're going to move past this pretty quickly because we're going to have a crap-tastic when we're done recording this about this very movie. But apparently The Accountant is getting a sequel with Ben Affleck.
I'll save all my comments for...
We will talk about that
review
in our crap-tastic. That's called a tease, people. Stay tuned. Apparently Iron Man and Iron Man 2, we got the very first appearance of Peter Parker. We just didn't know it. Anybody who's seen... What?
It's so easy to retro that, though.
It's a good retro.
They could have literally said, oh, that was Ant-Man.
Well, this is a good retro. Apparently there's a kid. Anybody who's seen Iron Man 2 knows in the final fight, Iron Man saves this kid who has an Iron Man helmet on, and this robot's going to blow him up, and this Hammer Tech robot's going to blow him up, and the kid puts his hand up like this, like he's going to blast him with his Iron Man helmet, and Iron Man at the last second jumps in and saves him. Well, Tom Holland thought it'd be pretty cool to say that was Peter Parker because they'd be the right age, and Peter Parker's a science nerd, and he's obsessed with Iron Man. So Kevin Feige thought it was great, and now it's retcon, and that is officially the first appearance of Peter Parker in the MCU.
That's such an easy retro for them to do. Just be like, oh, hey.
But it's a good one.
It makes, they can make it make sense. So
Yeah, well, speaking of retro, Tremors, one of the greatest B-budget movies of all time. Maybe we should do that as a Crap or Craptastic one episode. Tremors starring Kevin Bacon that came out in, like, I don't know, 1990 maybe. Apparently it's...
Some worms coming out.
Giant grapoids, get it right.
Yeah.
They are making a comeback. Kevin Bacon has got a series coming to Sci-Fi. They've picked up the pilot, and it's going to be 25 years. It's going to be a sequel to the movie. It's going to be 25 years later. It's going to be his character dealing with the grapoids coming him back. And apparently he's an alcoholic, and I don't know. His life is shitty. If you saw that character in the movie, you knew his life was always going to be shitty.
Isn't that just basically Kevin Bacon's life right now? I mean, he lost all of his money, you know that? Like, all of his money.
You know what's funny?
He invested with Bernie Madoff.
Oh, man. Well, that's why he's making Tremors the TV show. Can I just say a funny Kevin Bacon joke? So, it's totally off topic, but I saw this thing, I don't know if it's true or not, where it showed somebody interviewing Tom Hanks, and they said, who's the best smelling actor you've ever worked with? And he said, Kevin Bacon. Moving on. Guess what? Guess who else is moving on? James Cameron. He's moving on to bigger, better technologies, and this actually affects you, Ryan. For those of you who hate 3D because the glasses are shit,
which is me,
James Cameron agrees, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you my reenactment of James Cameron. You know what? Fuck 3D glasses. I'm gonna make Avatar 2 3D without the glasses.
He made a holodeck?
Apparently, Avatar 2, when it finally hits theaters in 2075, will have no 3D glasses, but the movie will be in 3D. So, something to think about, people.
I'm still waiting for my holodeck. Once I get a holodeck, I'm never leaving that shit.
Well, yeah. Just digital prostitutes all day long. Something else that's pretty cool that's been confirmed is that the Predator reboot is in fact a sequel. Gary Busey's son, Jake Busey, will in fact be playing the son of Gary Busey's character in Predator 2. So anybody wondered where this Predator fits in the timeline? It fits right after Predator and Predator 2, and then like 30 years later.
I'm trying to remember Predator 2.
Gary Busey was the crazy
city,
like
right?
What?
It was in the city or
LA.
something.
And Gary Busey was that was like, God, so this is going to be like 2000, because that was set a little bit in the future, so this will probably be like 2030s maybe.
Wasn't like Danny Glover in it?
Yeah, Danny Glover the cop, and it had, what's his name? God, it had Hudson.
Yeah.
From Aliens, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I remember that. They looked in the ship, and they had like all like the skulls and stuff.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing was the urban, like it was the urban jungle, and they was hunting people there, and had all voodoo and shit. And remember Gary Busey's character was like some crazy like CIA guy who was trying to kill the Predator, and then he got cut in half. Well, apparently Jake Busey, his son, is going to be in this. My guess is he will also get cut in half. Find out when the movie hits later next year. Let's see what else we got here. Last couple little things we got for ya. Game of Thrones.
How Game of Thrones is a show on HBO?
It is, and we talked a while ago that they were developing 5 spinoffs, and they were going to decide which one they liked. Well, apparently they liked all 5, and they're now all 5 moving forward.
No, it's actually going to be each cast or each crew. It's going to be like lined up on a battlefield at different angles. And Game of Thrones style, they're just gonna be like, all right, and I'll go, and everyone's got to run, and whichever crew like survives gets to have like the show.
That is a great episode, except for they'll probably all die, and then there'll be no Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know, what's the show that's been canceled? All of a sudden, like Dexter comes out, kills everybody, and he's like, Dexter's been renewed on HBO. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a show, I know it is. That would be a Game of Thrones move. To be another show just laying in wait, and then at the very end, when everyone's the weakest, go in and kill them all.
Like John Oliver just comes out of nowhere and...
God damn it. Why HBO hire us? I will make the skit. This would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Alright.
I'll resubmit a resume. I mean...
Do it. We have contact information from them now, right? You hooked that up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last couple things we got for you guys. Star Wars, the Forces of Change, the little shorts we talked about on this that follow all the female characters from Star Wars. They're going to be airing over this 4th of July weekend. Why does my shit keep dinging? Whatever. They will be airing over the 4th of July weekend on YouTube. They premiere on July 3rd and then July 9th on the Disney Channel. So check out the Disney YouTube page if you want to watch those with your girls. They're small segments, but I'm going to watch them with my kids. They're pretty cool. We got a little preview of them on our Facebook page. Check it out. And finally, apparently, it sounds like Warner Brothers is talking about making some of the alternate DC stories into movies. So anybody who's not familiar with DC Comics, what they like to do is these one-shots where they have like what if Superman. So like for instance, this one they're talking about making the Red Sun into a movie, and basically what the Superman Red Sun is what would happen if Superman's shuttle had landed in Russia instead of Kansas as a baby. And they're really cool one-shot alternate really storyline comics.
I liked it. I liked that one. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and they would fit outside. They'd fit outside a little bit of the DCEU, which I think would be fine, and I think they'd be really good. Hang on, I'm trying to mute my stupid. Do you keep hearing my dinging? Ding.
Just in case you didn't know, DC Animated is putting up 30 movies as a collector's edition pretty soon. 30 of the animated movies from like the last 10 years or something.
That's cool.
So keep an eye out for that.
All right. Well, anyway, no word on whether they're going to make Red Sun. It's all rumors, but personally, I think it'd be pretty cool if they did a whole movie series that were just these one-offs and they could cast whoever they wanted to and do whatever. So that would be pretty cool. And then real quick, we got a few trailers to talk about. We won't spend too much time on them unless there's any one in particular you want to talk about. Oh, actually, Inhumans dropped the first one, so we'll probably talk a little bit about that one. The Greatest Showman release. It's Hugh Jackman's new movie. It's basically about the Barnum and Bailey. I thought it looked kind of cool, personally. It
looks all right. I mean, it's. I'm not sure. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
You don't like a good story about a guy who overcome all kinds of odds and turned into like something really cool? God, my camera keeps wigging out. Well, you know what, everybody? If our video sucks, whatever. Deal with it.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, but luckily I'm so pretty I can like overcome any obstacle. There we go. I turned it off and back on. Let's see if I did it.
Oh god.
Let's see. Bad Moms. Still, if you have to watch the movie, it is on like Stars. I think I'm going to watch it over there when I go on vacation in a couple weeks. They're getting a Christmas special. Looks pretty funny.
I watched that with my wife.
Was it good?
And she liked it.
Oh.
Are
you a sexist pig?
I am a sexist pig.
You're the worst.
It was okay. I mean, it was just like, I am not the target demographic.
Well, if you are the target demographic, because we're not just Geek Dad Report, we are also for moms. Don't let the title fool you. Check that out and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your feedback. Chucky, the Cult of Chucky, is coming out to, I don't think it's even coming to theaters. I think it's just coming to Blu-ray and digital. Another Chucky movie. Trailer's up. It's graphic and gory as hell.
Yeah, it looks interesting. That's for sure.
Let's see here. The new Death Note trailer, a movie that's been, under some fire for possibly whitewashing, which we don't agree with, but we won't talk about that tonight. But anyway, check it out. Death Note. Yeah. It's based on a Japanese manga.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested.
It's a story of basically, if you don't know the story, a guy finds a book, and if he writes he can write the name of anybody in this book, and the god of death kills him. So craziness ensues.
And the god of death looks pretty rad.
Yeah,
it's got like big glowy eyes.
Yeah, the movie I think it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we know Chris is going to be all over it.
Yeah,
a good buddy, Chris.
Faithful 50 member Evil Chris is a huge fan of this property, so he seemed pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about it, but like I said, I don't know anything about it, so I'd like to check it out. All right, moving on. What else we got here? Jumanji. The Rock dropped the first trailer for Jumanji. When I first heard this was coming out, I was not excited. Then I heard The Rock and Kevin Hart were attached, and I was like, I like those guys. But after seeing the trailer, it actually looks pretty cool. It looks like it's a sequel, it's a continuation, but they take the story in a different place that I think is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, they made it. It's not a board game; it's a video game this time around. And I thought it was because I remember everyone complaining about how like their clothes were short and stuff like that, and like how the one girl was wearing like a midriff, bearing shirt, and she was like, "You guys will understand when you see, when you start seeing more stuff, about the movie." So I mean, like it kind of made all sense with how they introduced all that, and so yeah, it looks pretty funny. I thought Jack Black's character was the interesting change that happened for that person.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, well, Ryan's trying to talk around it, but if you haven't seen the trailer, basically there's this like she's supposed to be the kind of the hot girl, blonde, very pretty. Her character ends up being, her avatar is Jack Black. It's really, I think the movie's going to be good. I'm pretty excited. I know Jeff had mentioned earlier on our Facebook forum that he wasn't excited at all, and since he doesn't watch trailers, there's no reason for him to be excited. But I would say, Jeff, check out this trailer. I think it might change your mind. The trailer doesn't give away too much in the movie, but I would recommend it. I think this is going to actually be a pretty good movie. And The Rock, damn it, he's just charming as hell. And Kevin Hart he's on point in this movie, I think. I think it's going to be a good movie.
The Rock is The Rock. I mean, he's kind of hard to beat. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. And when you watch the trailer, I think you will be too. So check it out. Let us know what you think. Jumanji. And then lastly, actually, real quick before I get to this, the apparently Venom. We talked last week that Spider-Man and Venom may be in the same universe. Apparently, Kevin Feige has equivocally said no, they are not, and Spider-Man will not be appearing in any Venom movie or spinoff movie in the near future. So there you go.
Picked up a coffee and he threw it in someone's face, and
yeah, there was fights. There was a what was it, a confused Kevin Feige meme floating around.
Somebody got stabbed with a lamp.
There's 2 beheadings. It was really ugly. But they've fought it out, and Spider-Man is only going to be in the MCU as for right now. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm hearing from early reviews are coming out of Spider-Man Homecoming, and they're saying it's really good.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, shocker. All right, and lastly, our last trailer of the night that we want to talk about is Marvel dropped an Inhumans trailer on us. We knew this was coming. The show's coming out this September. It's the first, it's kind of different because it's the first TV show that's been filmed. The pilot was filmed with IMAX cameras, and it's going to be released in theaters for the first couple weeks before it premieres on ABC. I think a lot of us had high hopes. Anybody who's been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. knows Daisy and a few other ones. They had a big, huge Inhuman storyline. The Inhumans were kind of going to be the new X-Men. They were supposed to get a major movie release with Vin Diesel was being eyed to play Black Bolt, the leader of the Inhumans. Since then, it's kind of come down that they've decided not to do that. Instead, they're going to do this TV show. But a lot of us were pretty excited about it, and they dropped the first trailer today. And I can't speak for Ryan. I'll let him speak for himself here in a second. But I have to say I was really disappointed. It looked really B-rated, like in a bad way. And it looked cheesy. It looked low budget. And I mean, Lockjaw looked great. The teleporting dog looked amazing. But everything else, like Medusa's hair is terrible. The fight scenes look bad. The acting looks really suspect. I was not impressed at all with this trailer.
It looked like an early version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And that's not a compliment. And I still have a hard time when I see Bolton.
Yeah, Ramsey.
When I see Ramsey on there, and I'm like, God, that motherfucker. I still get that. I still get that when I see him. On like the movie, on the post series, and so when I see him on the trailer, I'm like, that motherfucker's gonna kill. Some Jon Snow.
Can I just say for the first time I saw him, first thing I thought was like, didn't your face get eaten off by a dog?
Yeah.
They need to have at least one Lockjaw joke where he's like licking his face and he's like, what are you gonna bite my face off?
Yeah, that would be. Oh my God! If they did that, I would laugh my ass off.
Here's the problem. So, to your point, it does definitely look like early episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But anybody who's up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this last season we got Ghost Rider, who looked freaking. I mean, this last season of Agents of Shield might be the best. That might have been their best season, and it was so good, and it looked so good. And we've had Daredevil, and we've had even Iron Fist. As much as some people didn't like it, it looked good.
It took them 6 years to get to where they are right now. Do we have 6 years to wait for humans to find their groove?
Well, and that's the problem. Coming out of the gate like this, it shouldn't look this bad coming out of the gate. Like, this first trailer shouldn't look this bad. Now, the show may be really good, and of course I'm going to watch it. I mean, it's free on ABC, so they've got my money. But there was almost no powers. The guy who plays Black Bolt, so anybody familiar with Black Bolt, his power is if he opens his mouth, it basically is like a sonic boom, and if he screamed, could level an entire city. So he's not going to talk very much at all. But you need a person who can carry a lot of weight with their eyes and face. But the problem is he just looks constipated the whole time. Like, he's just like... It's like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like when your kids are trying to... When you tell them to shut up and... You tell your kids be quiet, and they're like,
and like somebody grabs them on Earth, and he goes, oomph, and it just blows over a car. It just looked stupid. I just, I don't want to be picky, but we live in a day and age where we just saw Wonder Woman on the big screen, and it was amazing. Which, did you see it yet?
I'm going this weekend.
We saw Wonder Woman. We have Justice League coming. We've seen the Avengers. We've got Spider-Man and Iron Man. We've got Ghost Rider ripping his face off on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've got Daredevil. We've got Iron Fist using Ryan's fucking bottle of fisting lube and just blowing up a skyscraper with his fist. And we get this shit. I mean, literally the only thing that made me go, woo, was Lockjaw. Lockjaw looked awesome. It was great.
Yeah, Lockjaw does look cool.
But how can you not like a giant 700-pound bulldog with a little teleporting like wishbone on his head? It's great. Mm-hmm. But let us know what you think. If you guys liked it, or me and Ryan are just missing the boat, let us know. I mean, obviously, I'm in the bag for this already. I'll watch it. It's 8 episodes. I plan on watching all 8. Hell, I watched Iron Fist, and some of that was just terrible. But you know what? I was just kind of disappointed. Given the hype and where they're at right now with television and Marvel and DC films and DC TV shows, I mean, we got Supergirl for crying out loud. This looked half as quality as Supergirl.
Yeah, Supergirl actually looks a lot better.
Yeah, so come on, Marvel. Hopefully we're going to get better than what we chose in the trailer. So, well, that's all we got on the trailers. And we had one more bit of news, and we figured we'd share that because it's going to kind of lead into a fun little topic we want to talk about tonight before we move on to the last few things on the show. So, Nintendo has confirmed that they are going to be releasing... Oh, look at my screen all wigging out. Hopefully my camera's not fucked up. I swear to God, if my camera's fucked up on my MacBook, I have Apple Care, so it doesn't really matter.
This is going to be the not beautiful Brian show.
Yeah, last week was a beautiful Brian show, but we got the lowest views we've had since we've come back, which is only 2 episodes. So, apparently people don't want to see me, Ryan. They want to see you, too.
Well, I'm glad I can provide my services.
Are you doing the fisting thing again? Quit fisting
and
saying services.
Clicky guns.
You're the worst. All right. So Nintendo has announced officially, it's been rumored for a while, but they've officially announced that they're going to do a Super NES Classic Edition, much like they did the Nintendo Classic Edition, where they have all these games preloaded onto it, and I'll give you guys the list in a second. They have all these games preloaded onto it. It's an HDMI cord. It's super small. This time it's going to be $10 more, but it comes with the second controller, which I'd literally pay. It's only going to be $80 or $90. I'd pay $150 for this. My only concern with this is, are they going to do like they did with the last one and only release 2 million copies in the world, and you won't have one?
Yeah, I'm still so pissed. I tried to get one. Like, I was calling like all the stops around here.
Yeah, and we're too old to wait in line for 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't have that fucking time, man. I can't do that shit.
Yeah,
can't do that shit.
So hopefully they release more this time, because here's a list of the games that are coming out with this. It's going to be 21 games pre-installed. And honestly, guys, these are some really good ones. We're going to get Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, which Final Fantasy 3, by the way, I spent 120 hours over one summer in high school putting into that.
Oh my god.
Because, when the Earth breaks, there's 2 different storylines that you can choose, 2 different paths. One of them kills the main character, one of them doesn't. And I played both of them.
You always stay for Shadow.
Yeah, well, I
Don't
didn't save for Shadow, and you get his daughter, who's a badass, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shadow is badass. Anyway, so Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox, the previously unreleased Star Fox 2.
That didn't even get released in Japan.
Yeah, this is a whole new game. Street Fighter 2, Turbo Hyper Fighting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's amazing. Super Castlevania, what is that, 4?
Yeah, 4.
Super Ghouls, sorry, I'm not up to date on my Roman numerals. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is a great game. Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Legend of 7 Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Yoshi's Island, and that is it. Do they not have... Are you kidding me?
What?
Well, I'm going to put that on those. So me and Ryan, so those are all great games. I'll talk about in a second. These are all great games. One of the things that me and Ryan thought it'd be pretty fun to talk about, though, is kind of dive into nostalgia a little bit and talk about the games that aren't on this that we wish were on there. And give us a chance to kind of talk about things that we love about the Super Nintendo. Real quick, I will say, like I said, this is scheduled to come out in September. No word yet on how many they're going to release. Hopefully it's more than they did last time, but I plan on getting one. I'm sure Ryan will, too, if they have it.
I'm trying. I'm going to try very hard.
And if you think to yourself, should I get this? If you have kids, this is literally the perfect system to start them out on. There's so many good games on this list that they can play, and yeah.
Yeah, so just from the list, I mean, okay, so Final Fantasy 3, I don't think there's any other game, maybe other than Skyrim, that just came out. I don't think there's any game I put more hours into than that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously, like, when you're in the second world toward the end, I was just level grinding all of my guys.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
if you went to the Forest, you could find the dragons, and the dragons had the most experience points.
I mean, and I had the Ultima, so I was just training, like, everybody in Ultima, and I would just be like, Ultima, Ultimate Blast, everyone.
That was back when the end bosses took 20 minutes to beat, and you had to actually use coordination and skill. The only way to beat them was to have, everyone had to have Ultima, where it did 999, 9,999 damage on each one, and they just Ultima, potion, Ultima.
Yeah. You would have, like, I would usually have, like, the Esper lady, I can't remember her name, she was, like, my main healer.
Uh-huh.
And so she would be, like, doing, like, powerful healing stuff, and then everyone else would just be Ultima the fuck out of Kefka.
Yeah, no, I am super excited for Final Fantasy 3. I want to play it again. Like, to your point, I put in a ton of hours in this game. The only game I played more is Destiny. I played massive amounts of Destiny. But that is literally the only game I've played more than I played.
I mean, I'm excited about so many games. I was excited for the Nintendo one. This one's got, like, I forgot about A Link to the Past, Zelda.
I never played that. That is what I'm excited for. I've never played The Link into the Past. Dude, my very first Zelda game was on the 64 with the Arcania of Time. That's what I'm saying. I'm really excited to play this one.
But Link to the Past, I mean, that one was fun. I really loved that one.
Contra 3, are you kidding me? That is a great game.
Yeah.
What else are we looking at here? Kirby Superstar is surprisingly fun.
Which one?
Kirby.
You know, I remember I had Kirby for the Game Boy, but I never played the Super Nintendo version.
Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World. Dude, they're all, honestly, these are all great games.
Especially if you get Yoshi, and then you could go and do some of the levels like riding around on Yoshi.
Well, and honestly, Secret of Mana, if you're into RPGs, a lot of, the Final Fantasy 2 and 3 got most of the play on this, but Secret of Mana is one of the better RPGs that ever came out. I mean, Secret of Mana is a fantastic RPG.
Sadly, I haven't played it.
And honestly, the game I am most excited for is Street Fighter. I get to introduce my kids to Street Fighter, old school Street Fighter, the good Street Fighter. Yeah,
see, I think this system has a lot more games that I know my kids would like to play.
Super Mario Kart.
Dude, I know I'm going to get it just because I know my wife will play Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
I'm like 100% guaranteed I know that's the game she's going to want to play.
What's funny is I remember when it first came out, this was the first time Mario came out, and we're like, what is this crap? You're racing around on go-karts? It is so much fun. But yeah, this is going to be a cool system. I mean, so real quick, so we get you out of here. What? Because I know it's late.
We still got an after show.
Yeah, we still got a couple after shows to do. Okay, so what are some games that you wished? What are some games that you're disappointed aren't on this list?
Okay, so even though I completely understand why it's not Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to be introducing everybody to fatalities. And I thought Earthworm Jim might be on the list.
Oh, that was a good game.
I mean, it's one of the, like, if you like the Monkey Island games and kind of like the more just kind of like outlandishly kind of crazy.
I love how I love the animation where Earthworm Jim would pull out his own body and whip people and stick it back in.
Yeah. God. And then for the one game, and then I was just kind of thinking, I was like, God, what was that? And to remind people how old we are, the only reason I was going to buy this game was because Shaquille O'Neal was a big, he was a big thing in the early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I heard he had a video game coming out. I was like, well, it's a Shaq video game. It must be pretty cool. And I wanted to buy it, but instead I went to Blockbuster and I rented it. And
that was a smart move.
I think if there was one game I ever tried to get my money back from a rental, it was fucking Shaq Fu.
Yeah, Shaq Fu was so good.
Goddamn game I've ever played in my life. Right. Oh, Breath of Fire. That was one of my favorite JRPGs. I love Breath of Fire. I stole it from Blockbuster, or I just didn't return it, and then I never went back to that Blockbuster, so I never had to pay the late fee.
Oh, nice. Good work.
And then I just started going to the other Blockbuster in town.
You went rogue. You went gangster. Nice job.
Yeah. So that was how I got a free version of Breath of Fire for the Super Nintendo.
Nice work. Well, let's see. For me, there's a couple games I'm disappointed they didn't have. NBA Jam, I'm kind of sad they didn't have. Yes. Noticeably, there's no sports games on this. I'm guessing it's probably due to licensing rights and having to pay things. That's probably why they didn't. So
yeah, you can't get Madden on there.
Yeah, Madden 94 was great for the Super Nintendo and 93 too. King Griffey Jr. Baseball was one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo because you could do the home run derby, and you would just home run derby all day long, right? It was all about timing. If you got the rhythm right, you could just crack them. I remember we used to go to house parties and just drink beer all night and play home run derby, and we'd get 200 home runs, and we're just cracking them all day. It was a ton of fun. Like I said, NBA Jam, Madden. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a couple licensed games. Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time had a really good game. And there was a really good X-Men game. I'm trying to remember what I think it was, like Apocalypse or something. That was a pretty fun game for that system as well. But the game I'm most disappointed is not on it. And it's sad, and it's kind of funny that I'm at this point about this one, considering how many good RPGs are already on this system. But Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated RPGs of all time. It's one of the first ones that introduced a time element to it, right? So the story couldn't be completed until you went back in time and revisited the events of things that you had already done, right? So it was a cool concept that had never been done before in a video game, at least to my knowledge. And it was a great game. It kind of changed the way you thought about RPGs going forward. And I would have to say that I think Chrono Trigger has actually influenced a lot of games going forward. Yeah, really, I was disappointed they didn't have that one, but I'm sure you can probably still pick it up on eBay.
Yeah, and just remember, the Super Nintendo did a really good job of, because that was when arcades were still pretty good. So you would get a lot of arcade games that were getting transferred to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So if you were finding like a pretty cool game like at the arcade, there was a chance that you might get it on Nintendo, eventually. So.
Well, that's a funny you should mention that. I think that leads us into we only had one question tonight from the Faithful 50, but it was from Jeff, and he actually had a pretty good one. So would you like to read that question?
Yeah, Jeff.
Where'd he go? Come on, it's a good transition. It's a great segue.
I know. Jeff wants to know, what was your favorite arcade game back in the day? Not a console game, but the game you pump all your quarters into. And for people that know the Lake Stevens area. There wasn't really an arcade in Lake Stevens, Washington. But the closest one, at least I knew of, was at the Marysville Mall, which was like an Albertsons on one end, and then just like some really, it was like a really fucking scary mall. You know, it was like back in the day where like everybody had a mall, and like now I think it's just some rundown like scary thing. But they had an arcade in there, and they had Gauntlet Legends.
Oh, that was a great game.
That was, I would go, like, if we knew we were going there, my dad, like, he doesn't smoke, but he hates having change, so he would always put, like, a change in his quarters and stuff in the ashtray in his truck. And so if we knew we were going to the mall, my brother and I would, like, steal, like, go in there and, like, just get all the quarters out of there, so we'd have, like, $20 in quarters, and then we'd just go down there and go to the arcade, and I would just play that game all fucking time until I ran out of quarters. I loved that game. I would always be the fighter guy and just try and upgrade him as fast as I could and just fucking chop at everything.
Dude, I got that game. They made that game for the Xbox. It is to this day the only game my wife has played with me all the way through.
Oh,
She
really?
loved Gauntlet Legends, yeah. Cool game, man. I had a couple games that I actually played a lot in the arcades. Kind of different phases in my life, so I'll blow through them real quick. One, Ninja Turtles. I pumped all those 4-player games, X-Men, Ninja Turtles, Simpsons not as much, but you just pump. You get a community of people with you playing that game, and you're just throwing quarters in.
Which one was the Ninja Turtles where if you did it right, you do a super and you throw the guys at the screen?
I don't know.
Do you
Was that one
remember
of the
that
new
one?
ones? Or was that the old one?
That was I remember doing that in the arcade. Like, I accidentally did, like, a super move, and it went, like, and he, like, chucked the guy.
It's probably the original Ninja Turtles one, the 4-player one.
Yeah.
I played what was the Top Gun knockoff game that they had?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You sat down as a flight simulator, and you actually moved, and it was impossible to land.
And it came with a pair of aviators that you had to put on while you were playing.
Oh, God, it was such a good game. Anyway, I played a lot of that game. The games that I think I put my most money into, obviously I played Pac-Man, all the classics. I remember one summer there was this gas station near my house. I lived out in Fall City, and you could walk to it, and I used to take all my quarters, and I want to say it was a game, like, I think it was Raiden 3 is the airplane game, right? But it's a sci-fi airplane game. And you're constantly going, and you shot all kinds of crazy guns and stuff, and it was just a game that scrolled. I played a ton.
It was just like you would just keep going straight, and
you would have to fight these
side.
you just keep going straight. You have to fight these monsters and battleships that are bigger than the screen, and they just keep going, and there's guns to blow up. It was super fun. And then the game that I played probably the most as I got older, when I actually had some money, was Killer Instinct. We'd go to the arcade, and you would try and do the perfect combo where you could kill people in just one combo. That was right when combos just started getting really big. And so I played a ton of Killer Instinct when I got older, but
I was always just like, I would just be mashing all the buttons. I was never like trying to back, forward, up, A, B, and I would never like try and, I would just be like, and just fucking just smash my hand on it.
Killer Instinct, was just one of those, all those games. This is the sad thing about the arcades, honestly, in general, is that it wasn't just about playing the games. It was like Xbox Live before the internet, right? That's where you went to talk shit to each other and beat each other, and you always had a few guys who were really good, and you just kind of watched them in awe. And, that movie Pixels, I know a lot of people hated it, but I kind of enjoyed it because it reminded me of people that I knew growing up, right? These gamers who, some of them cheated, some of them were prodigies, but it was, I don't know, it's, I kind of miss those days, honestly. I mean, I love having these consoles now that we have, but yeah. I mean, I don't miss putting a quarter in for a play. They have a classic arcade down in Tacoma I went to, and it's only 25 cents a play, and we pulled out $20 and played for like 2 hours, but it's pretty cool. Kind of miss the old arcades, but thanks, Jeff, for your question. As always, you come with some really good ones, and we're going to chalk up the single question to everybody was just really busy.
Yeah, it's 4th of July weekend. People got stuff to do.
But thank you, Jeff, as always. We do appreciate your input. And next week, guys, we'll have a whole new chance to put up a new question. So always feel free if you're new to the show. Every week, me and Ryan put up a post on Facebook, and we're going to try and get more active on Twitter. Put up basically just asking you guys' questions. And if you have anything you'd like to ask us or ask our opinion on, this is your chance to ask us. Feel free to ask us all through the week. We're always available. But this is the one chance you have a you could be part of the show on. So, all right, let's get out of here. You got any weekly recommendations before we get out of here?
I started watching Ballers for the first time this week,
show.
and that show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So if you have an HBO subscription, it's kind of like that time period where like stuff isn't really coming out like yet, and it's getting close. So if you need a show, definitely go with Ballers on HBO.
I like to recommend a new show that actually just came out. Me and my wife just blew through the first 3 episodes. The Mist. Stephen King's The Mist is now a TV show on Spike TV, which is going to soon be, I think, Paramount Television. We watched the first episode. The first episode's a little wonky. I don't judge the whole show off the first episode, but I think Spike knew it, and so they released the first 3 episodes on demand. They're only on episode 2 right now if you're watching it live and recording it. But on demand, they have released the first 3, and so we watched all 3 episodes, and by the 3rd episode, we were completely hooked on the show. It gets much better. The show is gory as hell. It's super suspenseful, and there's a lot of crazy shit going on it. So if you like suspenseful, kind of gory TV shows, or you're a big fan of the movie The Mist, I would recommend checking out. It's airing right now on Spike TV. I'm not sure what the air date, what day it's on, but check your local TV listing, or like I said, the first 3 episodes are available online. Plus, Preacher's back. Watch it. Season 2 is already amazing.
Oh God,
so good.
I gotta go watch
The Saint of Killers season. Yeah, it's great. And if you want to catch up, season 1 is available now on, I believe, Amazon or Netflix, but it's on one of those 2. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, you got any? You like to tell everybody where they can find us, Ryan?
Well, you can find us on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. Brian is at BrianWorks53 on Twitter, and I am Big Bruiser. We are on YouTube and iTunes and podhell.com. But make sure you like us, subscribe, leave a comment, give a thumbs up, stars, happy faces, lightning bolts.
Yeah,
whatever all the cool kids are doing
Ryan
now.
likes the fist emoji.
Yeah, the fist emoji followed by a bucket, and then more fist emojis.
Little show note to everybody: we are going to be starting to schedule a few guests every now and then. So if you are a fan of our show and you'd love to be on it, or if you're a fellow podcaster and you'd also love to be on it, do a little cross promotion. We'd be more than happy to have you on it. Just DM us at one of our social outlets, or get a hold of me or Ryan, and we'll talk about it. Also, we are hopefully going to be starting on GeekDadReport.com sooner than later, and we're looking for a few writers or people who would like to have their own shows or have ideas, or anybody who wants to be part of what we do here. We're looking to possibly expand. We pay thousands upon millions and trillions of dollars. But you get to do some fun stuff and just be yourself. So
yeah, but we do it all in IOUs.
Yes, lots of IOUs. But honestly, we're just a couple guys who have fun doing what we do, and we are hopefully looking to start expanding our little family at the Geek Dad Report. So if anybody who watches this has any inclination to this is something they'd like to do, or you're interested at all, I've already talked to a few people, so hopefully we're going to have some guest people on here going forward. But get a hold of us. Let us know, and we'll throw you in the hat.
Yeah.
We'll throw you in the hopper.
Even if you're a little nervous about it, just talk to us. I mean, why not?
Yeah, don't be nervous. I'll just talk over you for an hour. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. You can just come in, just talk about weird shit, and Brian will talk about it throughout the whole episode to make you feel included. Yeah. And
then we give big internet hugs.
Yeah.
And then Ryan will fist you. Anyway, on that note, got anything else to say to the people, Ryan?
I would like to say, just stay nerdy, everyone, and have a great 4th of July weekend. Don't blow off any of your fingers or toes or other parts of your body. Do not hurt yourself.
And watch Independence Day. Best 4th of July movie ever.
Yeah.
Part 1, not Part 2. Part 2 is alright, but Part 1 is definitely the best.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Stay awesome. Until next week. As always, thanks for joining the Geek Dad Report, and we'll see you on the flip side. Later.
Stay nerdy.